Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today we are filming this declutter. So this is going to be maybe my biggest declutter of the year, and it is just kind of getting rid or doing my first purge of my current collection with things that are expired, things that are not my shade, or things that just don't work for me for one reason or another. And so if you haven't seen my full makeup collection video where I show you my makeup storage, or if you also haven't seen my makeup inventory when I tell you the number of items I have in every category, I recommend that you watch those first. And here we are with the declutter that I promised now. Now I'm going to move through these products category by category. And so first I'm going to show you the primers, the base products, and then so on and so forth. So let's move these aside. Okay, here are all of my base products, including primers, foundations and whatnot, and one concealer. And so let me just show you which ones I'm decluttering and why. So here I have the Bare Minerals Primetime Primer and the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and these are both completely silicone primers, and that's just not my preference anymore, so I'm not going to use these. Maybe someone else will like them better than I do. This Holika BB Cream I actually bought because of Christina Chang here on YouTube, and she really loves this product, but for me, I don't know, sometimes when I wore it, it would kind of gather strangely around my nose and create these geometric shapes. And I don't have dry skin, but this made me look like I have dry skin. Plus I got the lightest shade, and this is just too light for me. It looks like I'm wearing the wrong foundation shade when I wear this. For the minis I have here, I have a couple of the IT Cosmetics CC Cream, and this one is in the shade Fair, and this one is in the shade Light. And I'm getting rid of these because I already have a full size of this in the shade Light, and I even have a mini in the shade Light. So I don't need a second mini in the shade I already have 2 items of, and Fair is just definitely not my shade, so it's way too light for me. Here I have a Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream, and this is in the shade 5 Natural, and this is actually brand new. It's still sealed, but I've actually gotten some samples of this, and shade 5 is just way too dark and orange for my light yellow skin tone, and so I'm just not going to bother opening this if I know I'm not going to enjoy using it. I do have my current shade, which is in 3 Buttercream, that I have just a couple uses left of, and I also have shade 5.5, which is Bamboo, and that is also a good shade match for me. Even though it's a higher number than this, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's darker. I have this Bare Minerals Bare Pro Liquid Foundation, and this foundation is actually very, very nice. I have the shade Golden Ivory 8, but the reason I'm decluttering this is just because I have other foundations I wear more, and so this foundation is really amazing for long days because it really controls oils super well, but just for some reason that is unnameable. I don't reach for this a lot. And so I'm going to be honest with myself, and if I haven't been reaching for it, I'm not going to suddenly start reaching for it after a declutter. Here I have the Misha BB Cream, which is super famous nowadays because Jessica Braun is a huge advocate, as well as many other YouTubers here. And I have mine in the shade 21, but this is just too gray for me, and it's also kind of light. This just does not work for me, and as much as I want it to, and I can mix it in with some other base products to make it work, but I hardly ever go through the effort of that. So I'm just gonna maybe give it to someone who would like it more. It's a better match for so on and so forth, and I have enough foundations on my own anyways. This is the not Bare Minerals, so this is the Garnier Fructis Skin Active BB Cream in the shade Light Medium, and this is, I think, the first, not this bottle, but the first kind of base product I've ever tried. Rather than starting with a foundation, I just saw this in a CVS probably and saw BB cream, and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. So this is actually very, very, very nice. I would repurchase this, but the shade range is terrible. There are I think only 2 shades. There's light medium and then one that's medium dark or something like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm decluttering this because it's probably 2 years old now. It's kind of old. For concealer, I have this Billion Dollar Brows like double-sided duo. So one side is a concealer and the other side is supposed to be a highlighter that you kind of shape your brows with. And I got this in my recent BoxyCharm Premium, I believe. And it came in a set with a brow gel, a brow pencil, and like a brush. That's what it was. And I do like the other parts of this, and this was actually nice when I used it, but the thing is, like, I never carve out my brows, like, ever. So I definitely don't need to keep this. Okay, and here are my, what is it, face products? Yeah. And so this includes a powder, my bronzers, blushes, and highlighters that I am decluttering. So first, let's start with the powder. I have this e.l.f. blotting powder, and it actually works really well. Just, I don't need to have like multiple powders. And this is like fairly new. It's one of the least used that I have. So I feel comfortable passing this to someone. For highlighters, I have 4. So this is actually a Kat Von D eyeshadow in the shade Thunderstruck, and I bought this for like $3 from TJ Maxx, and I use it, it's duochrome, I use it on my cheeks as a highlighter. It has kind of a peachy shift to it. Brand aside, controversy aside, this is not one of my most reached for highlighters, therefore it is not one that I need to keep. This e.l.f. highlighter is in the shade Pink Diamond, and it is not good. First of all, it's very strongly pink, and secondly, it looks kind of dusty on my cheeks, and so that one's going. Thirdly, I have this highlighter by NARS in the shade Albatross, and this looks like it would be great for fair skin tones and light skin tones like mine, but it has a very, very strong gold shift, which usually looks better on deeper skin tones. And so this product kind of confuses me who it was made for, because the gold is too strong for me, at least with my fair skin. The gold is just too strong, and the base is too light for someone who actually has a deep skin tone. So this confuses me. I don't use it, so yep. Oh, this item, this is the Maybelline eyeshadow in the shade The Glow Down, and Roxette Arisa actually convinced me to buy this one because she used it as a highlighter, and this is when I was like first getting into makeup, and this was really cheap, so I just bought it as like probably my first highlighter. And hello, firstly, this is very gold. It's too dark for me as a highlighter, but I just followed beauty gurus blindly. And secondly, of course, it's all broken and whatnot, so this is going in the trash. For blushes, I have 4 here that I'm decluttering. Here, first I have the Tarte blush in the shade Feisty, and I do have another Tarte blush in the shade Exposed. And if y'all watch Kelly Gooch, she had the mini similarly sized blush of Tarte in the shade Party in her project pan, and she had a lot of difficulty hitting pan on that one. I don't have that much progress on the one I have, which is Exposed, and so I don't need to keep this second one that is brand new called Feisty. So yeah, I'm just trying not to keep more than I know than I need. Next, I have the e.l.f. blush in the shade, oh, it's gone. It's Blushing Rose, I think was the shade name for this. And it's a little broken because I unsuccessfully tried depotting it earlier when I first got it. But I've tried using this blush, and the thing is, it does not like to blend. It's very pigmented and really hard to blend out, and I just don't want to put that much work into my blush in the mornings, and so I have better blushes that I use, so I never ever reach for this. Here I have the Ciate Marbled Light Blush I got in a BoxyCharm a little while back, and it's still in its box. I haven't used it. It's a beautiful shade, but it's new and I don't really need it. I'm happy with the blushes I have already, and they all like make me so happy, and so I'm okay like not adding this one. Here I have a Becca blush in the shade Songbird, and I have another Becca blush in the shade Wild Honey that I use a lot, and this one I kept because I like the formula, and they actually discontinued this, which makes me so sad. But here's Songbird. It's in a more orangey kind of peachy tone with a little bit of a sheen, and it's so pretty. And I know that like Hannah Louise Poston loves this, several other people love this, and I know I like the formula, but again, being honest with myself, not wanting to keep things I don't need particularly. And so this is new, so it's very easy to either donate or pass on, and I don't want to just contaminate it for the sake of using it a few times. For bronzers or face palettes, I have this one, which is the Wet n Wild Duo in Dolce Honey, and it comes with a contour shade and a powder. And this is a good product. It's a good product. I just never use it, therefore I don't need to keep it. Okay, next we're on to brows and eye products. First, let me show you the brow products, and this is just because I do not need multiples or brand new of these. I have enough brow pencils and I have enough brow pomade to last me the entire year. Maybe, probably. And so these are brand new, easy to donate / share, same story, you know the deal. And the other brow product I have is this Brow Gal brow gel, and it's in the shade Light, which is not my brow shade. And I also have this NYX Precision Brow Pencil, but the shade is an ash brown, which is too light for me. And so these two, I'm getting rid of because of the color match. I had actually been keeping around this NYX one because I really like the spoolie. It's a very sturdy yet thin spoolie, but I don't need to keep this just for a spoolie. I have other spoolies. For eyeliners, I have several, and I'm going to say these. All right, so this is actually brand new. It's a CoverGirl Perfect Point Plus, and so this has a smudger end, and this is just the eyeliner side, obviously. And this is like the first eyeliner I ever used back in high school, and I just don't use this product anymore. It's very, very, very creamy and easy to smudge, hence like that's their whole concept. But I don't know, if I want a smoky black look, I usually just go for eyeshadow. These are a couple of Maybelline eyeliners that are bright and shimmery, and they're really good for the waterline, but keeping them is not going to make me use them, and I have not been using them, so that's the reason for these. Same story, this NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil, and this is in the white one, shade Milk. It's good, and it's good for setting down a base, so eyeshadow shades pop more, but honestly, you do neutral eyes pretty much all the time, and I haven't been using this, so. This, I don't use liquid, or what is it, felt tip eyeliners, plus this like has a little hair sticking out of it, and it just always leaves a mark outside of the line, so not dealing with that. This is a Fenty eyeliner, and it is a beautiful, beautiful like glittery green shade. And it looks great going on, and I love the look when I use this, but the thing is it gets dry and it flakes into pieces like later on in the afternoon, so that's a no. And here I have the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, and this is just a pencil highlighter for the inner corner, and this is in the shade Pearl. It's good. Again, I would use it if I had less makeup, but I have more makeup, so therefore I don't use it. Ooh. You guys hear me like out of breath because oh God, these videos where I talk a lot just kill me. What we have left are just all the eyeshadows. So let me go through the single shadows first. Here I have 3 Stila shadows, and these are all in the gold cap. So they're the Glitter and Glow formulas. So I have Stylish, which is a really pretty like neutral champagne. And I would use it if I wore glitter. I have come to realize that I don't wear glitter, and so I do not need to keep these glitters. This is in the shade Hypnotic, and it was in their like Mystique line, I think, or something like that. And this is a kind of like a surprise shade. It's in the shade Mythical, so it has a purple flip. I have a bunch of ColourPop things, and so these are very, very old. They don't even sell these anymore, but these are single loose eyeshadows, and I'll just show you the shades for funsies. Here we have Go Lightly, which is a gold. And this is Upshot, which is a green, like a mermaid green. And here I have Baby Rue, which is like a light baby purple. Ooh. And I'm just being honest with myself, I do not use these enough. I don't use things outside of eyeshadow palettes enough, honestly. I won't go through the extra effort of like wetting this on, opening this and putting it on my eye on top of whatever else I already laid down for eyeshadow, like for work in a hospital. This is a Super Shock in the shade Shop, and it's just dried out. Here I have a jelly eyeshadow from Incredible, and it's very interesting. It's a jelly texture, and you can see it has kind of a spacey reflect with purples and blues, but I haven't been using it. I would use it if I had less makeup, but you know, I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that in this, but okay, on to the next product. I have the Maybelline Color Tattoo in the shade, what was it? Bad to the Bronze. It's a classic, and it is, because it's a classic, very old and pretty much dried out, so it's just come to the end of its life. I have a couple of trios. This is a Wet n Wild trio in the shade Rose Quartz, and these shadows are very pretty. This is a kind of a satin, and these two are more glittery metallics, but that's the thing, I can feel the texture of the glitters in these, and I just have better metallic eyeshadows and pretty much in these similar shades that I like more, so I don't want to keep redundant shades. Here I have a Model & Co. little trio in Positano. We got it in a Birch box, I want to say, or actually I got this in an Allure box. And it is a good eyeshadow, little trio. You can use this in the crease or outer corner and this on the lid, and it's like a really easy look, but I have other palettes that I do easy natural looks with. So again, I don't need to keep this for myself. Lastly, what we have remaining are the eyeshadow palettes that I will be letting go. And I know y'all are surprised to see a ColourPop one, so I'll talk about that first. I did an entire 3 looks 1 palette video with this and loved it. I still love it. This is a great palette, but I don't need to keep the entire palette because I do not wear blue eyeshadow like on the daily. Since getting this, I have gotten the ColourPop So Jaded palette, which was made in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. That has some beautiful iridescent light blues. I also have a couple light blues just in other palettes scattered around, you know, when palettes had that neutral eyeshadow palette with 1 pop of blue thing going on. So being honest with myself, I don't need to keep this. Now, these other palettes pretty much all have the same story. The formulas of these are great. They work well, but I don't want to keep redundant shades. I don't want to keep palettes that I don't reach for often. So for palettes that have a good formula but have redundant shades / I don't reach for often, include particularly these Wet n Wild ones and my Tartist Pro To Go. So this was I think my first ever little eyeshadow palette, and it has everything I needed. It has the transition, like lid / outer corner, deepening outer corner, lid shade, and then a couple other shimmer shades to play around with. But I don't need a little pocket palette like this anymore because I have my essentials elsewhere. These Wet n Wild palettes are great. The formula is good. I just don't reach for them. And this palette in particular was actually in my, if I could only keep 10 palettes. So it's like, what? You're throwing it out? Yes. And I've come to realize since making that video that I mostly was keeping this because I loved this gold and I loved these greens, having those available. And I have those now in my So Jaded palette. And so yeah, oh, and this gold, I have a really good gold shimmer in my Juvia's Place palette. So I don't want to keep, or I don't have to keep these, therefore I don't want to keep these. I kept around this Smashbox X Vlada palette for a while because it has some beautiful rosy pink tones, but you know, same story. I have enough eyeshadow with these tones. Kat Von D Shade and Light. Again, controversy aside, these shadows are great. You see a pretty significant dip in this brown here because I use this for my eyebrows. It's a really good, neutral, almost cool leaning eyebrow powder. And I also kept this for a while because it works great. These mattes are really good. But since getting this, I have accumulated or acquired more mattes, and I just don't need to keep this. Y'all know, this video is so like redundant. I don't even know what else to say, like as I'm decluttering these. This one's just really old. I haven't reached for this in over a year, so. All right, so you would think we're almost done. Wow, my blanket is really taking a hit with various colored products. That's all right. So last category of makeup is a doozy, and that is because it is lip products. And I have this whole bag of lip products that I actually forgot to dump out at the very beginning when I had that dumping scene. So there's more. Now, I am not gonna go through these individually, each of them, because the story of these is that the shade didn't work for me, or I have enough lip glosses and I just want to cut down, or the product is old. That's pretty much it. I'll go ahead and show you what the products are, but I'm not going to give you an explanation for each of them just because it's going to be so redundant. This video is already so redundant. First, let me start with lip liners. I absolutely never use lip liner, so therefore I don't need to keep it around. I have a couple red and a couple nude, and I just don't need them, and I don't use them, so I don't need to keep them. For lip glosses, I have a few, and well, I actually have quite a few. This is just one that isn't in my top tier of glosses, therefore not keeping. This Ofra gloss, I can feel the little glitter specks in this. This is a Smiley to Riley gloss with Madison Miller. I feel the little like grittiness, so I don't like that. This Milani gloss is in Champagne, which is probably, I don't know, is it their most popular shade? It's a dupe for the Buxom glosses, the Buxom White Russian, but this is too milky, too light for me, and it just kind of washes me out. I have a couple Buxom glosses, but I don't like the formula of these because they're too sticky. This is the Bite gloss in like this very metallic gold, but it is metallic on the lips, not my vibe. This Pillow plumping gloss from Soap and Glory is painful. This is like the worst plumping gloss like in existence. No, I don't even have sensitive lips. I can handle plumping, but this was like next level. This is a Wet n Wild shiny lipstick, high shine lipstick in the shade Cheek Got Real. I only wore this once and I realized that this is not my shade. Too purple for me. And then just a couple other glosses, ColourPop and Larizzi, just to cut down on my number of glosses. Now remaining, I just have all these lipsticks. So I'll show you which Bite Beauty lipsticks I'm decluttering. I have the shade Pepper, Tannin, and Sake. Pepper is just really beat up and it's actually broken at its base. I tried to do the thing where you melt it back on and put it in the fridge, but it is not, you know, surviving well, and I don't need to struggle to put on my lipstick. I have so many lipsticks, so yep. Tannin, I actually know someone who really likes this shade, and I already have a few other red lipsticks. I don't need to keep like multiple red lipsticks. So this one is one I don't wear often enough to justify keeping, especially when I know someone who likes this product. And I have Sake. This was in a birthday gift. Oh wait, actually no, it was something different. This was in a Christmas set, and it's a very purple toned one. And I do have a couple berry / purple / mauve lipsticks that I am keeping, and this is just not one of those that I reach for the most. Here I have a NARS lipstick in the shade Orgasm. I'm actually almost, look at how like pretty much done I am with this. And it's just old, and the little glitter specks in here are gritty. Not my vibe. Nope. I have a couple of the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams, and these are just old. They're really old. The Canis one, this is in the shade Canes. I'm sorry if I'm uncultured. I don't know the name of the city, but it is like almost done actually. I remember when I was doing a lip declutter, maybe back in July, I swatched this on my hand and it was like dry, and I couldn't even get a full swatch because there wasn't enough product on the brush. This is in London, and it's a beautiful, beautiful shade. This one I'm not exactly throwing out because it's old per se, but because the tone, it's a very neutral, warm-ish leaning nude lipstick, and I have other neutral, warm-ish leaning nude lipsticks that I love. For example, the Bare Minerals lipstick in the shade Om. I also have the Persona liquid lipstick in the shade OG. I also have the L'Oreal Rouge Signature lipstick in the shade ITs, and those are just off the top of my head. So I have lots of redundancy with this kind of shade, even though the formula is great. You know, like I have many formulas that are great, and I just had to pick one that had to go. I have a couple ColourPop. This is a ColourPop Cream Luxe lipstick in the shade Appy. And this is just a little bit too light for me. It's a pretty peachy nude, but I don't like lipsticks that are a little lighter than my natural lip color. That's also why I didn't like Maybelline Baddest Beige. I decluttered that like a long time ago. And so this is also something that someone else can appreciate. Here I have the lippy sticks in the shade Lumiere. It's so old, all the writing has rubbed off, and I've used a significant portion of this, if you can see, maybe not. And so this is everything that's left. It's old. I don't use it enough to keep it. And I also am not really comfortable giving this to someone just because of its age. So this is going to be thrown away. Here I just have a bunch of like little minis that I got in subscription boxes, or maybe some other random like gift with purchases that, you know, I don't reach for them. I have so many lipsticks. I don't need to keep these. So I have a Julep lipstick in the shade Apricot. This was super dry. It's not a good lipstick formula. I have a Lipstick Queen mini in the shade Medieval, which is actually a very, very pretty, like sheer red. It's not an opaque red, but it just kind of has it's almost like a tinted lip balm kind of thing. And so I used to keep this in my purse, but I can keep something else in my purse. Here I have a Bare Minerals mini lipstick in the shade Hustler. And this is one of their radiant lipsticks. So it has a little bit of a sheen, very like Christmassy. But again, I don't need to keep more than like maybe 3 red lipsticks, so. This is a black lipstick, and I kept it in my last lip declutter because I was like, what if I want to wear a black lip? And I have not used this a single time since then. So next I have the Tartist lip paint in the shade Birthday Suit, I believe. And this is too light for me. I kept it last time to do like if I want to highlight the center of my lips, but every day when I do lipstick, I only use one color of lipstick. So, and also this formula is very, very dry. Like it dries down super matte on the lips. So again, not the best formula. Here I have a Mellow Cosmetics liquid lipstick in the shade Auckland. I got in a Birchbox, and I really like this. I was very impressed with it when I first used it, but not impressed enough to reach for it over what I already have. Here I have a little lipstick in the shade Salmon by, who is this by? Oh, Sugar Cosmetics. And again, it's a beautiful shade and it works well, but I don't want to keep excess. Here I have a mini of the Sugar Rush Sugar Coat lipstick in the shade Cake Pop. And this is just a kind of little bit too cool of a pink for me. And it kind of looks almost ashy on my lips. I got this in a free gift with purchase. All right, so let me pull out everything that I talked about today, and we can see in one final shot everything that I'm decluttering, and yeah, we can wrap this up. And wow, there we have it. You can't even see some of the stuff. Yep, I count this successful. Well, thank y'all so much for watching, and I hope this was fun. I don't know, sometimes I feel like declutters are kind of boring, but I hope I didn't bore you. Sometimes they're really interesting to see the reasons why people are passing things on, or things that people loved for a while and just loved to old age, so it was time to let them go. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. And as you go about the rest of your day, remember that y'all are my treasure. And remember also to find beauty in every day. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.